So I've been a little bit obsessed with flying fish recently. It was one of those units that I just never took, but having used it for the 50/50 shot video, which I'll link in the description, I've kind of turned the corner on it, and I really like using it now. So I wanted to do something a little bit unusual with it, and the idea was to take Panther, give it popcorn, and therefore have the flying fish level 3ing the tier 5 units that come from the popcorn. Now obviously you can achieve this in much easier ways. You know, if you have a level 3 stork, it's going to produce level 3 tier 5 units anyway, but I mean the whole point of this series is trying to win with these really suboptimal teams. So we are going to take some summon pets though on the way, and I think I take both spider and stork here. We really need to have something in the team that the flying fish is actually going to use its ability on while we wait for the panther and the popcorn, which is, popcorn is tier 6, so it's going to be a long wait to actually get there. And stork and spider are just super strong units in general, so you don't actually even really need the flying fish for them to be worthwhile takes. So I'm going to pill the spider and get rabbit here. Not really what I wanted. And I think here maybe I decide to go with flea instead of capybara. Okay, we're gonna go for capybara first. I feel like flea might come back into the equation later. I can't remember which particular run this ended up being. But as per usual, it took a lot of attempts working at this to try and get usable footage. And Hoopoe Bird is another component of that. I decided it was better to have a unit that's going to help me draw early turns and give me more time to assemble the team. So we're going to keep buffing the stork because it may end up actually just sticking since it's one of the strongest units in the game. A lot of the time in these types of challenges, I feel like taking one of the strongest tier 2s is going to be massively beneficial to your chances of success. And again, here we're going to get a tile, though actually the Hoopoe's ability doesn't make any difference. So there's a flying fish. And there were a lot of runs where I was trying to stack up capybaras and then roll into a flying fish in order to bypass the fact that it has absolutely horrendous base stats. Although on the test server they have changed flying fish, so it now has 3 attack, which I guess is slightly better, but it's still not amazing. And here I actually probably should not have bothered buying the lettuce there. The manatee barely benefits from it, and also the flea was a 1/1, so that was basically like buying an apple on the flying fish. But thankfully here the stork is going to be more than good enough, especially when it's getting the +2/2 from the flying fish. We can take the level up and probably go for flea and a separate stork. And then now it's turn 7, I'm worried about crocodile killing the flying fish. And so I'm freezing the turtle to get melon next turn. And crocodile isn't the only thing to worry about. You could be facing people who have that was Hoopoe Bird there. They could have had pineapple on their Hoopoe Bird, and that would have also killed the flying fish. So combine the storks and then get the melon. And what am I looking for now? I could take penguin. I think I've also got seahorse here. I was giving myself the option, it doesn't have to be a tier 2 that you're going to take all the way. You could take a tier 1, and seahorse is the obvious take for that. And as I say that, we ruin this shark team. And then the level up on the flying fish is really satisfying there with the Hoopoe Bird, although actually it's going to end up as a draw. If we hadn't moved the shark to the front there, I assume we would have lost. So level flea, I think. We don't get the... what are we looking for? Panther. Of course, we're past the point where we could level into Panther. Maybe here I should definitely should be chocolating either the flying fish or the stork, not the seahorse. It's time to give up on seahorse, I think. And we really need something to scale the team as well. And luckily here we face off with a very unusual team that is scaling up Doberman but they have a very large camel as well, and so the Doberman's ability doesn't work. I feel like you would have been better just selling the camel there, but we get the cat here. So bring cat in and then chocolate it and also lemon it just to try and waste some back targeting snipes. And I don't think the flea really made much, if any, difference there. We end up getting deer from the stork, but the flying fish is going to get killed. And yeah, we're just not going to have enough on the cat at the back, but getting to turn 10, still having all 10 lives intact was incredibly rare when I was going for this. So I was perfectly happy to lose there. And we'll take the sushi with the cat, and thankfully it didn't hit the mammoth because I really want to pill that as soon as possible. Although this setup really doesn't make any sense, and there's no real reason to go for it other than for fun. There is one strange benefit in the fact that you don't have to scale the Panther. Because you're using the Panther as a summon unit instead of, usually most people are going to be scaling their Panther up, but you can put the Panther in with popcorn and then you're just using it purely as a method to spawn those tier 5s. It doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it's always nice to have more stats because you're going to avoid situations like this where you face a Lynx team that then deletes the Panther and then you don't have enough space for your spawns. But the other benefit is that the flying fish only has 2 triggers, so you don't need higher than a level 1 Panther, because at level 1 the Panther is going to double the effect of the popcorn, and that's all we really need. So I'm not sure what I take here, maybe just Hoopoe Bird at the back. That could end up getting sniped and then removing Melon from the front unit, it just depends. But Leech Camel, we're probably in big trouble here. Although we do get the Triceratops, which is going to give plus 18 buffs there from those 2 hits. And we end up winning. That was, that shows you the strength of the level 3 tier 5 spawns, if you have your pack set up correctly. So we're just going to keep the stork at the back. And then I think maybe we're going to level 3 the flying fish, which means that immediately the popcorn spawns are going to be level 3. 4 squad with lionfish tiger. I can't remember what happens here. We get the scorpion, although it's going to be killed by the lionfish, of course. However, stork in the back, we are going to get the trade. And it spawns another panther. So yeah, we don't need that panther. We can just ignore it and just hope that the cat ends up hitting it soon to try and prevent it getting sniped. Swordfish is going to snipe the flying fish, which is obviously another problem. And yeah, I mean, this team also has the Pteranodon as well. Thankfully, Pteranodon has been changed on the test server, and I'm really looking forward to that new ability, getting to play with it. I mean, I hope it makes it to live the way it is. I assume it's ultimately going to be much weaker, but I don't really think that matters. It's paramount for the health of the game that it gets changed. So here we do have the Panther get sniped, but actually it doesn't matter because the flea also got sniped. And I think, yeah, the stonefish spawn and then instant killing the jellyfish in retaliation. It's so nice when that happens. So yeah, we'll just go for the almost level 3 flea since there's no food available. This is a relatively weak looking team, and thankfully the mushroom on the octopus gets overwritten. Of course you can also get eagle from the popcorn, which can then set off another summon chain, although in this instance it just ends at Pteranodon. So turn 18 now with level 1 Panther, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of health to try and make sure that it survives. And we don't get any more food for the cat. I think I've bought very little food with this level 2 cat, but we'll take the level 3 flea. And I mean, it couldn't have worked any better. They've got Scorpion, which gets the peanut replaced, and then the opposing boar and bison get defeated, and the stork spawns the Nyala for the win, with the flying fish ribbon as a bonus. So give it a try. A bit of an unconventional use for flying fish, but I thought that was pretty hilarious, especially if you manage to get the level 3 rhino chain reaction.